Now, when you lose touch with reality, you're delusional, you're mentally ill. And the people that have lost touch with reality are our teachers. They're the teachers. They're the top university professors. They're the ones that are mentally ill. This, my friends, is a hair follicle. That right there is where the muscle attaches to the hair bulb. And it pulls it back and forth. So you get all upset and crazy when somebody shows dinosaurs. Dragons. Dinosaurs were little tiny. They were literally parasites. The biggest dinosaurs there were parasites on dragons. I will show you. This hair follicle is 2 inches wide. Now, I don't know if this was a human or what it was, but I have DNA certified human remains that are mud fossils that are gigantic, fingertip 3 inches long. I have a whole ton of this stuff. I have it coming out of my ears and out of my hair follicles. There's the hair papilla at the bottom, the blue and the red, the vein and artery. Here's the hair shaft. There's a sebaceous gland. This stuff, I called it fascia-facilitated fossilization. Bones did not stay white. They converted into mud fossils. That's why I called it mud fossils. And that's the last bit of bone left in this one. I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. See that little tiny bit of bone? That's it. That's what's left. But this is clearly a bone. It's some kind of like a wrist bone or something. You know, like that. And it's got the, the ligament, and we can do all this kind of stuff. And the marrow's in there and all that. I have so much of this stuff. And my big ones are DNA tested. All right, 3 foot long fingertip. I have another one. Well, let me show you the one in the hand. That's easier to see. Well, I'll show them both to you. All right, I don't see any reason to go over every little bit of detail again. You saw the size of this hair follicle. The creatures on this earth were absolutely staggeringly large. This right here, I found on my property. This is a giant fingertip. That right there is the fingernail. This right here is the little pad that goes between and rocks on the bones, vein and artery. I broke this piece off right here, right on the edge of the fingernail, because I could see the fingernail where it sat right into there. I smacked it so I could get a piece off, and it broke off just like a scab. And I'll show you what came off of there. It was literally a scab. And here it is, right here. It still has the fingerprints on it. You see those? Those are sweat pores. You see them? This slab came right off, just like a scab. It was just laying right on there, basically. And that's the grip skin is the tough stuff. Now, on my other giant hand, which is smaller than this one here is huge. That fingertip is 3 feet long. This is 3 feet. Now, this hand, that's still on my same property, is 4 feet wide, about 4 feet up here, about 3 feet, something like that down there. This is a left human hand, and both of these been DNA tested. The other one I just showed you was DNA tested, so was this one, and I had another one DNA tested. And this is your left hand. You got one of these little lumps right here too. Lay it back, your left hand, you can feel it. You got the pad, you got the cleave, and here is that grip skin. Remember I just showed you that thing I knocked off, that slab? Well, this is what peels right off. It's just like it was painted on there, but it's a grip skin. It's this tough stuff that's on your hands and on your feet and so forth, and that's it right there. And when it came off, well, hold on a second. All right, this is exactly this piece. Now, I broke a little piece off right off of here so I could get up inside, because there is still blood, just a tiny little bit. But the way this works is that's just like, look at that. That's just like laying on there glued. Exactly like it shows here, basically glued. That's not a fracture. That's the skin just peeling off. And that's the thickness of the skin. That's a pretty good sized thick skin. Now that was on that 3-foot long fingertip, DNA tested. Now the hand is this one here, but it has the same grip skin all over the hand and all over the fingertips. And I have fingertips, I have knuckles, I have all kinds of stuff from this one. And again, DNA tested. And as a matter of fact, CAT scan too. This is the 4-foot wide one. And this is the CAT scan. This is a 2D. 2D means you get like a million different shots of the surface, put it all together, and you get all these different shadowing that allows you to see things you normally can't see. That is right over here. Hold on. That's this right here. You wouldn't see that stuff. You see it? You wouldn't see it. That's this right here. That's this right here. That's a tendon, blood vessel, and the bone. And that's a 2D CAT scan. I had 3D done too. Jesse Garant and Associates did this for me at no charge. They did 7 CAT scans, and they are literally the best in the world. Now, mud fossils are different than, you don't have bones inside. Here's the bone. I just showed you this one right here. That's the bone right there. And you can see it, but you just barely see it because it's been transitioned. It's called nucleophilic invasion and substitution. That's why they never knew these were bones. They said, oh, no, there's no calcium. No, it's been invaded. It's been substituted. And it happens on the fascia planes. That's why I originally called this fascia-facilitated fossilization. It's on academia.edu. I wrote the paper on this, 2015. That's why I'm upset about this. It's been 10 years. Denial, and you're being taught by people who are mentally ill. Your teachers are mentally ill. And they are teaching you what you have to say to be accepted. All right, this was from 2015. I had these DNA tested, 3 DNA tests. I personally extracted what I sent to get tested. Oh, you must have contaminated it. No, I didn't contaminate it, and this stuff is here and can be retested. And this was a PCR DNA test, and whatever they do, I don't know. But it was very sophisticated, and it wasn't cheap. And all 3 of them had the same result. They were all human mitochondrial DNA. Excellent quality DNA was obtained from that 36-inch one, the gigantic 36-inch fingertip, and from the lung, which is the lung is right here. Oh. It's actually just exactly identical to a human lung, because it is a human lung. And that's where the aortic arch sits because of the heart. It died flat in the flood, boiled, literally, because we almost got hit by what later turned out to be Venus. I drilled in here and got samples deep inside where the red blood is, and I mean I'm talking red blood. I went right for the arteries. I didn't just grab something, swab it off. And that's what everybody, oh, you must have contaminated. No, I didn't. Homo sapien mitochondrial D and cytochrome B gene. It's not hard to understand. And I talked to this guy. I know he got attacked for doing this, and nobody will do this now. I have people that will pay for this to be done. And nobody's willing to do it anymore because they get attacked by these people that are mentally ill, which are the professors, and they're forcing your kids to say things that they should understand aren't correct, but they're mentally ill. All right, I've made my case thousands of times, literally thousands, and I've been fighting this fight for at least 15 years, and they are mentally ill, and that's all I can tell you. The ones that are teaching your kids and you are mentally ill. They cannot deal with reality. So experts, Roger at mudfossils.com, please contact me. Prove me wrong. And by the way, in the meantime, get some mental health. You need help. People need help. It's just a fact. Just a fact, my friends. All I do is present evidence. When the evidence supports the statements, it's up to them to discount these statements and to retest my stuff. I say test it. They say, oh, here you retest it. I give you full access. Zero. All I get is those stupid little faces like from Chris. Okay, I don't really like to sink to these depths, but in this case I make an exception. He's a consulting mineralogist, owner-operator, geo-consulting, studied mineralogy. You wasted your life, Chris. You wasted your life, my friend. And you don't take the time to investigate or even look at anything that I presented, just idiot faces. That doesn't look good. You're certainly not a scientist, not a researcher. Okay, so I just did a video on schizophrenia, and who is schizophrenic? What is schizophrenia in the first place? Well, it's a chronic and severe mental disorder. It affects how a person thinks, feels, and behaves. Some people are very, very emotional when their perception of reality is challenged. And that's what they're thinking, and then they feel a certain way, and they behave, erratic, crazy, basically. Now, it's just characterized by psychotic episodes involving delusions, which are false beliefs. A delusion is where you see something, you think it's something, and it's not what it is. Now, a delusion doesn't mean it just has to fall on you. It means your whole life could be a delusion, and that's what this guy Chris' whole life has been, a delusion. All right, it's involving delusions, false beliefs, hallucinations, seeing or hearing things that aren't there. Disorganized thinking and behavior, just throwing out these ridiculous, stupid faces, that's disorganized to me. These symptoms can significantly impact a person's ability to function in daily life. I don't know what his life is like, but I can tell you what, this guy is not a researcher, he's not a thinker, and he's, as far as I'm concerned, wasted his entire life not looking at what's presented. It's affecting their ability to work, socialize, and care for themselves. This guy's in trouble as far as I'm concerned. I'd like to help you, Chris. Why don't you contact me? Get a hold of me. We'll talk about mudfossils, and we'll talk about geology. All right, it's Roger at mudfossils.com. Now, I can be respectful, but when I see that kind of behavior, look at this. Obviously, he didn't look at any of those. He made this stupid little face on everything in my whole thing, and his brain, I felt a funeral in my brain. Well, I can understand that, Chris. We could talk about that too.